Here are the 10 what I call main characteristics of a great leader. And this is something you have to do whether you don't feel like it today or not. Number one, they have a total commitment. A total commitment to building a team that functions smoothly as a team, a base shop that functions smoothly to get a common goal of having those names read this morning and getting on stages as we'll see this weekend. Number two is very important. They live what they teach and command respect, again, by their example. They live what they teach, and the teach is the fill-in, and command respect. Number three, I've said it, but I think repetition is so important here. They develop disciplines they respect in others. They develop disciplines they respect in others. Just as simple as punctuality. Gang, there are people that have a clock that has been set since their youth that it's 10 minutes always late. And you can't do that. If I say I'm going to call you at 3, that phone's got to ring at 3. If I'm going to meet you at 2, it's got to be 2. And the reason is every little habit you have, your people you recruit will emulate, and so they'll have a whole late team now. You know, our leader's never here on time. So you've got to keep saying, I must have the disciplines. I must have the disciplines. Also, be careful of this leadership trait. Number 4, they don't play favorites. Now, what I'm saying here, and this has got to be handled somewhat tactfully, when I was 24 years of age, this would have been my 5th year in real estate, I became the top salesperson before I went into management for Coldwell Banker. And I would get up every month. They'd have a big monthly meeting of awards, and I love winning trophies. If ever you visit my home or office in Scottsdale, you'll see a whole cases of trophies, because that was my turn on. I'd work harder for the trophy than I would the money, but guess what comes with the trophies? The money comes with the trophies. So anyway, I love that in my life, but my manager, a very wise man, he said, Tom, it's sad, but there are people jealous of you being so young and doing so well that I can't overdo my time with you in front of them because this is upsetting them. Well, see, I know that's nonsense, but you got to be careful you don't play favorites and ignore other folks because those people maybe need your help more than someone else as a leader. So my manager said, tell you what, we'll go out to dinner, but no one needs to know. I'm taking you out to dinner, you and your wife, just because you're such a good person in my office, but no one can know because I don't want people saying, why didn't you take me out to dinner? So be careful of favoritism. Number 5, they develop future vision. And I mentioned that word earlier, future vision. They see the vision of the future. The vision of the future. Number 6, they grasp and attack pending challenges rapidly. You guys are great. Let me share this with you. And I'm going to use the word problem, which we don't use. We say challenge. Problems do not go away when ignored. Problems fester. They get bigger. And a lot of us don't want to jump in and do something decisive. And never forget some of these little sayings. A bad decision is better than no decision if the decision has to be made. So you need to become a decision maker as a leader. And if there's a challenge in your base shop, a challenge in your life, you need to say, I got to make some decisions and handle it. I'm not going to procrastinate on this. Number 7, they specialize in developing people through education. Through education. Now, when I say education, I don't mean book learning. I'm talking people skills, phraseology skills, Many of you that used to use my training and maybe got away from it, you can't say the word price. It's total investment. You can't say monthly premium or payment. It's monthly investment. You can't say contract. It's paperwork agreement. You don't want them to buy a policy. You want them to own the benefits and the peace of mind that what we bring to families. So you need to keep working on all the right words and make sure your base shop doesn't have the wrong words in it. Because the words they all say are correct, are ending up with the actions. And then, of course, number 8, they're great listeners. You have to work on listening. Now, one thing that happens as a leader, you got so many things going on your mind and your life that you have people that are following you that need to have a few minutes of you totally focusing. Now, when I had my 18 salespeople as a real estate manager, top office in the company, out of 33 offices, I made sure that, and I had a little book, no one saw the book, that I knew how many minutes I was spending with each person so they got some quality alone time. Even if it's bringing them in and sitting them down and saying, how you doing? Man, I've been so busy, we haven't spent much time. How's everything going for you? Any challenges I can help you with? It's almost like, and of course Keith said the word about a dozen times, one of the key things to give people today is recognition. Make others feel important. And great leaders make people feel important. And that's when you have a top producer, congratulate them. I know you guys have a lot of recognitions. I love your company for it. Sometimes you just show up and you get a T-shirt. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good. But the recognition is so important, okay? And then, of course, number 9, they love to see others learn and succeed. They love to see others succeed, learn and succeed. Now, here's another little trait of good leadership. They praise in public and criticize in private. Now, what that means, if I have someone in my base shop that's doing things that shouldn't be happening, and this can be attitudinal primarily, you got to call them in by themselves and talk with them. You want to praise as many people as possible in public, because that's a trait of a great leader, is to make the people following them feel like, I'm proud to be in this team. I'm proud to be on this team. Okay? Now, I want to ask you a couple questions here. I'm going to do a role play. Now, you've been with me before. How many times do you think?
10.
10 times. I apologize. I used to recognize people, but that also leaves as you get a little older. And I've had 4 million people in my audiences. But what's your first name again? Anthony? Anthony, come on up here for a second. Okay, have a seat up there. He's one of the few people that looks up to me in PFS. I want you to know that. All right. Hey. All right. Now, Anthony, I want to welcome you to our base shop. Now, I know most companies call the facility they work out of an office. We're a little different. We actually have a terminology of a base shop. And as I welcome you to our team, I want to ask you some questions. Now, last year, I understand you made on your full-time job $45,000. Is that right?
Yes.
And now you're getting ready to phase from part-time into full-time, and I want to help you with some goal setting. What might you like to have as a goal that we can work together to achieve as to your income this next year?
Enough for a vacation home.
Okay. So why don't we do this? You made $45,000 last year. Your first 6 months with PFS is in what we call an educational period, to where we must teach you and you must learn the business. It doesn't happen overnight. So you're coming off of a 9-to-5 job where you work an hour and get paid money. That's not the way our business is. That's why we can have wealth. Because, see, we have no risk. I mean, we take risks where many people don't. You are paid nothing unless you help a lot of families. Now, you like to help families, don't you, Anthony?
Yes.
See, this is a very important trait. So I'd like to set for your first year a goal of $60,000. I always tried to set that first year goal between 10 and 25% above what they were making. Because, see, your goal is to teach people to make sure they break goals. You see? So I'm going to write down $60,000, get him to agree to that. So now we're really looking at a $5,000 a month goal. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to show you how many people you'll need to talk to end up having enough presentations to get enough IBAs to be turned in as a recruiting specialist to where you will be earning $5,000 a month. Okay, we're on target here. Now, you mentioned a mountain home. About how much do you think the mountain home you'd like to get is going to be? Approximately.
$800,000.
$800,000. Now, 800 to 1,000. Oh, $800,000 a month. I was going to say, if a guy was making $45,000 and he was going to have an $800,000 home as a second home, that might be a little good. Always make sure people set realistic goals. Here's a little saying: better than your best, but believable. Better than your best, but believable. See, because if they're not believable, they can, because of self-image, shoot themselves in the foot because they can't believe they can get that. See, you are a counselor as a leader to where you're not going to let them get in trouble if possible, because we're going to get goals that are realistic. Okay? Now, let me ask you a couple other questions. We feel that one of the keys to our whole company is a positive attitude at all times. Now, are you in agreement with that?
Sure.
I also feel that it's important that when we come into the base shop, all negativity is left outside. How's that sound to you?
Difficult.
But is it something you'd be willing to work on if you'd like to be part of our team?
Sure.
Good. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to put our agreement between myself as your leader and you as our representative, and I'd like to put this in writing so we know what we've agreed upon. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Now you take out this form, which is the next page, which is called the Sales Leader Commitment. Now here's what you as a leader are going to commit to, and you read this to them. I hereby agree to do everything necessary to help, and you write their name in there, Anthony, to achieve the goals set forth this day. Now that's what you want me to do, Anthony?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put my signature, we call the approval, right on this line next to the S, where I'm going to commit to do that. Now let me show you your commitment. I want you to listen to his commitment. I hereby agree to let Tom Hopkins do what is necessary to help me achieve my goals as representative of Primerica Financial Services. I realize my production is dependent upon activities that have proven to work. These include punctuality and attendance at all base shop and company meetings. See, we're a punctual team. Have you got any challenge with punctuality? No, play the role, will you, Anthony? Sometimes. We all do. That's why we all say together, let's always try to have our base shop punctual, and it'll be good for the whole team. Okay? Then, look at the next thing, okay? Using the tools the company has created to ensure my success. Now, we have tools. We have training tools. We have some ideas we're going to share with you. We have Tom Hopkins, the #1 sales trainer in the United States. In fact, basically free enterprise societies, and he's going to be part of our team to help train you. So the key is you have to be willing to take the training and apply it. Now, if it's going to make you a lot of money, do you have any challenge there?
Nope.
Good. Then, look at this next one. Keeping a champion attitude and radiate enthusiasm while in the presence of other salespeople or other people in the office. And avoiding, now here's things we got to be careful of. We avoid jealousy, gossip, and negative thinking. Do you agree that's important for our team?
Yes.
If I'm not living up to these commitments, I expect Tom Hopkins, me, your leader, to help me recommit to my goals. Does that sound what you like?
Sure.
All right, well, let me get your approval. Take your pen there. And just put your approval on that line where you are agreeing to let me help you achieve the goals that we've stated here. Now, gang, here you got a written document to where you can at least counsel somebody that's getting off track. 2 months later, suddenly he got 4 chargebacks in one day, and he's, been beat up and he's getting a little down, and I'll call him in and say, Anthony, what am I doing wrong? Well, nothing, Tom. Remember our goal? You've been a little negative. Can we work on that? You said you would. And now you have something to counsel rather than just a spoken word. I'd love you to consider this, okay? And give Anthony a nice hand for helping me. Thanks, buddy. So proud of you.